My husband never hit me. That's why no one believed me. I'm 31. My husband, Jason, is 36. We live in a mid-sized town in Pennsylvania, the kind with Target, chain restaurants, and a Facebook group where people complain about potholes and lost dogs. From the outside, our marriage looked fine. Not passionate, not exciting, just normal. Jason never yelled, never drank too much, never hit me. That part mattered a lot later. The first thing he took from me wasn't my phone or my money. It was my confidence. If I laughed too loudly at dinner, he'd say, "You know people stare when you do that." If I told a story, he'd interrupt halfway through and say, "That's not what happened. You're remembering it wrong." First, I thought he was just particular. Then I noticed I started apologizing constantly for things I wasn't even sure I'd done. About a year into our marriage, he started texting a coworker. Her name was Melissa. He mentioned her casually, the way you do when there's nothing to hide. Melissa says that all the time. Melissa thinks that too. When I asked who she was, he laughed and said, "She's basically a kid. Relax." She was 29. I never found nudes. Never caught him sneaking out. Never saw hotel receipts. What I did find was worse somehow. He'd text her about his day. About how hard things were at home. About how I was sensitive and overreacted. I found messages where she said things like, "You deserve to be understood. I wish she could see how lucky she is." And his reply, "Yeah, me too." When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He sighed, sat down, looked exhausted, and said, "This is exactly why I don't tell you things." That's when it clicked. Every argument ended with me apologizing. Every concern became proof that I was unstable. Every boundary I set was framed as controlling. If I cried, I was manipulative. If I stayed calm, I was cold. If I asked questions, I was accusing him. There was no way to win. I tried talking to friends. They said things like, "At least he doesn't cheat. At least he doesn't hit you. Marriage is hard. He sounds stressed." One even said, "Honestly, you seem kind of intense lately." I stopped talking about it after that. The end came over something small. I asked him not to vent about our marriage to Melissa anymore. He stared at me and said, "So now you're trying to isolate me from people who support me." That night, I slept on the couch. He didn't notice. I left 2 weeks later. No bruises. No screenshots dramatic enough for court. No big moment anyone could rally around. Just a quiet realization that I had been shrinking for years. The last message he sent me said, "I hope you get the help you need." Melissa posted a picture with him 3 months later. The caption was, "Sometimes love looks like being understood."